Hi, this is Simon Chan and welcome to my No BS, No Hype network marketing training. Today I'm going to show you 5 leadership lessons that you can learn from a dynamic leader out of Melbourne, Australia, Amy Zhang. Amy is the leader of her team called the Rainmakers, and recently, in this interview that you hear, she recently became a gold director in her MLM. And to be a gold director, that just meant she earned basically a full-time income of at least $1,000 a week for 4 consecutive weeks. Okay, so it's about $4,000 or $5,000 monthly, which is a full USD. That is $4,000 to $5,000 American dollars in a month, which is like a full-time income. So what does she need to do? Amy's one of my mastermind members. I interviewed her on this training. This is an excerpt from an Insider Circle training, so pay attention. But these are the 5 lessons I'm going to give you briefly. Number 1 is all leaders, okay? You need to grow yourself if you want your income to grow. And Amy's going to share about EQ, emotional intelligence, and how the importance of being proactive instead of reactive. And Amy's going to share a little about her journey and what she did. Second thing is successful people, instead of giving reasons or excuses why things don't work out, and sometimes the reasons can be pretty intimidating, right? And she's going to share this situation where her company actually ran out of products. They had customer orders and the company couldn't fulfill them because for whatever reason, don't know, the company ran out of products. But instead of giving, explain why and giving up, the successful leader think of a how. How can we get around this situation? So that's the second thing leaders do. The third thing, which when you have a how mindset, it leads to creativity. And Amy's going to share with you some creative things that she really did that got her team over the hump. And now looking back, was just they laugh about it, right? But during the time, it was really stressful when they couldn't fulfill the orders. But they came up with very creative solutions. The fourth thing is you learn from your mistakes. And whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Okay, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. It's called Murphy's Law. But you learn from those mistakes. And Amy's going to share about some of the things that she made. They invited huge group to a big presentation. Instead of having, 10, 20 signups, it turned out to be a disaster. And she's going to share with you what happened and how she kept on going. And the last thing is, to be a leader, you need to create small victories. Sometimes you have a big goals, but it's important to create small little victories and you work on them. And that motivates your team to get going. So with that said, I just basically give you a summary. I want you to hear directly from Amy herself. So here you go. Let's go straight to the interview. There you are.
Hi
So
guys.
that's Amy. Amy's
Hello,
out in
everyone.
Melbourne. So let's share a little bit. So we'll share a little bit about your background, how you got started in the business.
I was actually introduced to USANA Health Sciences about more than 3 years ago. Um, Funny story, actually. My ex-boyfriend actually introduced me to the business. And the only reason I contacted him was because he owed me money. So that's why I went to the presentation. So little did I know I got much more than, my money back. But basically, when I first heard about USANA, I was really interested in the financial freedom aspect. So that's what drew me in because my whole life, financial freedom was never something that we were taught. It was more about just, my parents as well, going to school, get good grades, and then get a good job. And then so when I heard this opportunity, I was really intrigued. I was really interested. And then also during that time, I was studying at uni, just started uni, so I was kind of like trying out different things as well. So for me, I got straight into the business. I was really motivated, but then I think it was because I was just really young as well. I got distracted by other stuff. And also during that time, the organization that I was with, it wasn't very established. So it kind of just stopped. So I pretty much stopped doing the business for about 2 years. And during that time, I pretty much fell into that comfort zone where I got distracted by uni, by work. I was in a relationship and I was distracted by friends. And I also started doing eBay. So I started my own online store. So as you guys might notice behind me, I've got a lot of stock still left in here. So I was really focusing on, branching out, starting my own business online because I've always wanted to do something for myself. So that's what I was focusing on. And at uni, I was studying criminology. So that's something because I wanted to do law. That was what I originally wanted to do. But as I progressed through, my course, I realized, I didn't see myself as working for someone else for the rest of my life. I didn't really want to work every single day like my parents and then not have much time to spend with other people, like, my friends and family. And then something pretty much turned my world upside down was something happened last year, and that's when it propelled me to come back into USANA. So last year, mid-year last year, I graduated from uni. I was like a bit unsure what to do, and during that period, I also got out of a long-term relationship. My best friend ran off to Singapore with some guy, so I was kind of like, kind of alone and just a bit unsure. But also the one major thing that really changed for me was when my grandma passed away. Um, so it was when she passed, she was in China and me and my parents were in Australia. So we heard the news that she was sick on the weekend. So my mom, she has a full-time job. She couldn't get out of work because she has a lot of responsibilities. She could just leave straight away and just, neglect everything and come back and deal with the, consequences. But she decided to inform her work on a Monday. So that's why she waited. And because she waited that extra day, she didn't get to go home in time. And my grandma passed away when she was on the plane. So my mom never got to see my grandma. And it was really devastating for the whole family just because it wasn't the first time it happened. The same thing happened to her dad as well, my grandpa. And that's when I realized that, for myself and for my family to achieve freedom in our lives, we can't just keep working for someone else because pretty much our dreams are controlled by other people. And that's when I realized my why changed from at the start when I got into USANA, it was for myself, financial freedom, this is great. And then, from all these things that happened, in particular what happened with my parents, that my why pretty much changed into helping my parents retire. And so they never have to go through the same thing again. Because at that moment I felt so hopeless. I couldn't help them, and I knew the only way that I could achieve financial freedom in life was actually to do something of my own. Have that business, get back into USANA. So that's why last year, in September, I decided to come back into the business. Simply because during this period, even though I wasn't active, I never stopped buying products. Every single month, I still bought 100 points or more than 100 points for the products. I stayed on ordership this entire time, simply because I really love the products. My parents and family all love them. So that's pretty much why I got back into USANA, and it's pretty much the best decision I've ever made. Yeah.
So I gotta ask you a question then. Are you still together with that boyfriend that introduced you to USANA?
No. That finished a long time ago. Yeah.
So the lesson is the duds find the studs.
Pretty much, yes. The dud finds the studs. Yeah.
Right. So that's a
He's
big
not in
thing.
the
I mean,
business anymore either.
it's a big thing in terms of like a common theme. Like a lot of the good people in the business are not found directly by you. Okay, your superstar leaders is not someone that is probably 1 or 2 degrees away. It could be your, one of your friends. It could be one of your downlines who is not even active and doesn't even do much. Someone they know. If I think about all the leaders that in my business, all my close friends of mine I sponsored did nothing. They either just customers or they quit the business. All my leaders, my diamonds, John, emeralds, all my golds and above, of my golds and above, only 2 of them were people that I knew. And I didn't even know them well. They're more acquaintances. So basically John and his wife Kim, right? John's an emerald, Kim's a gold. They were acquaintances, co-workers, not even close friends. None of my close friends became good in the business. Same thing with the people that a lot of people I sponsored. The ones who weren't good, a lot of them became not good, but I was able to use them to bring someone else in good. Okay, does that make sense? Like almost all my leaders were good in Malaysia, Philippines. Aside from one person there, they're 1 or 2 degrees away. My downline, I brought in the downline, and downline brought that person in. Okay, it's not someone that I personally sponsored. Okay, that's why you got to work with everyone. Just like for me, my original upline quit. Actually, 3 of my upline mentors, they all quit. Okay, they're no longer in the business. Okay, so how does it feel? To be a gold director, you need to generate 10,000 points of volume per week for 4 straight weeks. So that's about like 60,000, 70,000 US of volume for 4 weeks. How does it feel now that you're a go-director? Or are you tired of it and you're ready to keep going already?
It's actually this advancement has made me more excited than ever, more pumped, and it's created more momentum for the whole team as well. We've got a lot of rank advancements coming up, with TIFF as well, rank advancing to director. So it's built up a lot of momentum and it's pretty much pumped us all so much more. And that's why it's propelling us to actually work harder to advance to the next level. So yeah, I can't wait to get to the next level already. Yeah.
Good, good. Why did you? So, what's your vision for the business? I know you want to help people, but right now your team is mostly in like Melbourne, right, Australia. What's your overall vision for the business?
My overall vision, pretty much, because right now we are mainly in Melbourne, but throughout the past few months we have been expanding internationally as well, and I do have intentions to expand in China because a lot of my family is based in China. But basically, our vision is to create an international family that is united by USANA's vision, to help people in terms of creating the lifestyle they've always wanted to. Because without this opportunity, I would probably still be stuck at uni, or trying to find a job. And and if I was going down that path, I would never have experienced all these things or undergone all these personal development. That's why I think it's important for us to actually share this opportunity to as many people as they can so that they also have a vessel to get them to where they want to be.
Yeah. So you said you went through a lot of things during this journey. What are some things you learned? I mean, the 4 week was a struggle, was a challenge, right? What are some things you learned during the 4 weeks? More important, what did you learn about yourself? Because this business is about personal development. What did you learn about yourself through these challenges?
For myself, mainly just handling the obstacles better, because I used to stress a lot. I still stress a bit, but I learned to actually handle it in a much better way. So before I got back into this business to build it properly, it was I was really emotional as well. I would handle things more emotionally rather than rationally, and I'll get really stressed under these situations. But during these last 4 weeks, because it wasn't just for my own stress, it was dealing with everybody else's stress as well. A lot of people in my team were actually going for rank advancement, so I was handling the pressure from all directions, but able to come up with rational, pretty much solutions rather than dwelling on it. So that's something that I learned about myself over the past 4 weeks, that I've actually managed to develop myself more to be able to handle things more rationally than dwell on it and be emotional about it and waste time on thinking about things that I can't change or control myself.
Actually, that's really good because it's about EQ, right? Can you give a specific example where in the past maybe you reacted badly, but now you're more mature and better leader? You think things out better. What's one thing? Can you give me one example?
I'm laughing because there's a lot of examples, but example where I've reacted badly, I guess more in terms of for example, when I used to have birthday parties, I would just go crazy because when one thing goes wrong, when I'm planning a birthday party, I'll go crazy. And people will think that I have like perfect party syndrome, where it means I want everything to be perfect. It's just that under stressful situations, I panic. But now, through the past few weeks and also through the entire course of this business, I've learned to actually come up with solutions. Because, as a leader, I can't stress out with everyone else. I can't exactly be like, oh my God, this is, there's all things that are going wrong, like everything's gone wrong, because a lot of things went wrong in the past 4 weeks. So many things. Even USANA, we ran out reset packs. That was crazy. But, we learned to actually deal with that in a much more rational way. So we come up with solutions, and it was because we actually, try not to let our emotions get in the way. That's when we actually overcome all these obstacles and actually progress more.
So one trait of common successful people that's common is they have the mentality of how to make it work, right? Unsuccessful distributors is like they give reasons why. I mean, unsuccessful people, they criticize, complain, they condemn, they make excuses, right? So the number one leadership thing is never criticize, complain, or condemn. So in your situation, company ran out of products, which is pretty bad, right? They ran out of products. The company actually ran out of products. And most people say that's enough reason why this company sucks or this business doesn't work or I can't do this, I can't, right? we talk about having faith that it doesn't work. But so how did you overcome that challenge? So what did you? So the company ran out of products. So what did you do with these? What did you do with these signups of customers?
Oh, it was pretty bad because it's summer's coming up in Australia. So we had a lot of orders of the reset. You know, one of my leaders, Shabs, he actually sold 10 packs of resets and they're all waiting. And we actually sponsored another person who actually ordered 2 packs of first reset and then 2 packs of transform. That was her 3BC sign up. And because the company ran out of these products, they didn't get their products for about 2-3 weeks. So they actually wanted to return their products, and they were calling me, calling Shabs, you know, going panicking. It's like, this is not on, you know, this shouldn't have happened. So we tried to deal with this, you know, we told them, look, you know, we actually tried to form our own packs because we've got shakes and bars. So we thought, okay, we've got some bags of reset bags. We can make our own packs and give it to her so that when she gets hers, we can just swap it. So that's what we wanted to do. We organized to actually make our own packs for them. Except when we were making it, one of the new associates, she was calling up Usana, and apparently she was just not pleased with the customer service. So she got angry, and then so she returned her products anyway, even though we were actually in the middle of making her the packs, and we were calling the company. So in terms of that, we still talked to the new associate. We talked to her, look, you know, we're really sorry for this, but when the resets do come back, would you be willing to give it another try? Because I know that she really wanted to try the products. So she said that's completely fine. She'll wait until the reset packs come back, and then she'll purchase it again. So,
Good.
yeah.
So you know the reason I have these leaders share is because it's all about creativity, right? It's like you know we shared from Howard before, Julia, Kate, how to make it happen, right? If things don't work well, we're creative. Don't give reasons why, but think of how. It's creativity. So I love it. You create your own packs. You know, that's really good creative. And there's no one that says you can't do that, right? You create your own packs. Really good. Um, you know, the date. I remember I was working with Amy, and she chose a date. In terms of looking at order ship volume, order volumes, wasn't like the best time to. Why did you choose a certain date to go for your rank advancement, for the 4-week rank advancement run?
We originally planned to do the run 1 week earlier, to coincide with an event that Usana was holding, the Michael Claes event. Except during that event, a lot of things, you know, went wrong, as it does in these kind of events. So at the event, a lot of people, we've had a lot of prospects, but what happened was because it was on a Friday night and it went overtime, a lot of people were starving. So a lot of our prospects actually left, and they were like really hungry, and we had a bad apple as well. So pretty much they were like, oh, this is a scam, this doesn't work. So it pretty much poisoned the rest of our prospects. But of course, you know, we didn't give up. Like, that's okay. You know, we're going to follow up with them. We'll do the run next week. We'll start next week. So that's when we actually decided to do the run during that week. So the first week, it went pretty well. At the start, it went pretty well. We're doing all these follow-ups. And because I started running my own presentation evenings on Friday nights as well, we all planned to have all the sign-ups on that night. Except because that week was when we did the Skype call with Simon. So my team learned some stuff. Simon did some training with our team, pumped us up, so we all got a lot of momentum. So we stayed up until about 2 a.m. in the morning just doing planning and call sessions. And we also did another Skype call to Singapore to sign up another associate. So we actually didn't sleep. So myself and Shabs and another one of our team members didn't sleep until 6 a.m. in the morning. So that's why Shabs had to go to work the next day without any sleep. So for the Friday night when we had our presentation, what happened was he had a lot of prospects that were supposed to go, except he didn't have any sleep the previous night, and he pretty much fell asleep when he got home. And we didn't know what happened. So all the prospects, you know, they were waiting outside, but we didn't know. And so it was just the whole night went crazy. We didn't know where Shabs was. I was worried. I thought he got into an accident or something because he wasn't answering calls. Actually, he just fell asleep. And then so we figured, like, after what happened after that night, I called him, and he was basically like, oh my God, I can't believe it happened. And he's like, it's okay, you know, because he was actually originally aiming for silver on that week. Except, you know, because of what happened, all his prospects waited outside for like hours and then they left. We decided, okay, we can still make it to director because he had all these resets that he sold that he was going to put through. And then so that night, what happened was, you know, we decided we're going to put through the points and then make more because he only needed a little bit more volume. Except he called me at about 12 a.m. on Friday night and told me that, oh my God, I accidentally put the points in my personal volume as opposed to one of my legs. And that was, oh my God, we didn't know what to do. We're like, oh my God. So, but then we decided not to stress. So I called my mentor upline, John, asked him for solutions. And he told us that because it's a Friday night, USANA is not open, the only solution is actually to call them up in the morning. I mean, or not, we can't call them, so go to Sydney in the morning and to go, because I think they actually do boxing or something. I mean, they organize the boxes at the Sydney head office. So what we planned to do was actually either drive out to Sydney in the middle of the night to actually get them to change the points, or to find someone that lives in Sydney to do it for us. So Shabs actually got into the car at about 1 a.m. in the morning, prepared to drive down from Melbourne to Sydney to beg them to change the points for him. But then we realized that one of our teammates has a girlfriend in Sydney. So we begged her instead. So we got her to, you know, help us out in this and go to Sydney early in the morning to help change the points. So basically, Saturday it was crazy. We got all the points in, and that's when we decided, okay, you know, we've gone through so much in this whole week. Let's just do it. You know, go through with the whole run. So that's pretty much what kicked off the run because of all the drama that happened.
That's very inspiring. By the way, yeah, Melbourne to Sydney is like an hour and a half flight, but 10-hour drive. So good thing he didn't have to drive. Hey, but by the way, you know Shabs is security, right? He works security.
Yes, yeah.
So if you actually see a sleeping security guard falling asleep, you think of Shabs. Probably him. He's prospecting one night. Wow. You know, a couple of lessons here is there's always, you know, this whatever can go wrong will go wrong, right? So when you plan something out, it will never turn out the way. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. You had the meeting, the presentation, where, you know, the lessons: you feed people, make sure they're not hungry. People are hungry, are not going to pay attention, right? Pay attention. And also the bad apples. What Amy said was bad prospects, right? If you have a bad prospect who's negative, get them out of the presentation ASAP. Okay, you're not going to change their mind. It could be a bad prospect on a webinar, in a home meeting. Thank them, give them a gift, give them a drink or something. Get them out of there because they're going to ruin all the other apples. Like one bad apple, if you put in the fridge, the mold will spread to all the apples. Get rid of them. You know, sacrifice the one for the sake of everyone. I mean, in that instance, where, you know, they're hungry, the bad apple, and then the bad apple poisoned all the prospects. And another thing is writing to use the momentum. Momentum is important. When you're inspired, motivated, you got to ride that momentum. And, you know, I did that call with Amy, and I remember it was early my time, but next thing you know, it's like, you know, she messaged me, she sent me the email saying they signed up someone in Singapore. I was like, why is she sending me the email now? It's like 5 a.m. in Melbourne, you know? So you know they're making it happen, riding the momentum. Because sometimes once you let the momentum die, you lose the inspiration. It's hard to get going again. So a couple of the questions is, what are some of your upcoming plans now? Now that you hit this rank, what are some plans you have for you and your team?
So during the run, we had a lot of planned rank investments for the team. So a lot of, like, you know, as all the problems happened, a lot of them didn't happen. So that's why right now our plans actually help all the team, like the whole team, rank events, utilize this momentum. So we're working with ROC, our team Rainmakers. So we're aiming to grow that, expand more internationally as well. So during the past 4 weeks, we actually did a lot of online presentations, something that I never used to do because I was not really tech savvy, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. So now we're actually utilizing a lot of go-to meetings. We're doing a lot of more online trainings as well. So in this way, we can help each individual person to, you know, establish what they want in terms of their own business and help them advance as well. So that's pretty much our upcoming goals. And also in Australia, we've got the incentive where we can qualify for a free cruise. So there's only about 10 weeks left until the end of the year. So we're aiming to get the entire team to qualify for that cruise. And that's why the next few months is going to be really important, especially in terms of rank advancements and also hitting our goals as well.
Fantastic. Hey, by the way, so I'm happy to see you growing globally. So you're using GoToMeeting. That's your main platform for going online. It's
Yes.
working
Well,
out well.
it was with Skype, but then that got too like troublesome, so we decided to use GoToMeetings, and it's much better because we can actually show PowerPoints as well, and so much easier because you just send them the link as opposed to downloading something.
Yeah, GoToMeeting's way better than Skype. Even for my staff meetings, I use GoToMeeting. You have a webcam. It's way easier than Skype. More stable. More stable, too. And you can use the PowerPoint. You can share the screen. Way a lot easier to use. So, two other questions. So, what are some things that you learned from me that have helped you out?
So so during this period, we learned a lot. Pretty much, you know, learning in terms of working together as a team, because I found that when you did the training with our team, it helped so much because our team came together. We promoted the event, we promoted the training well, so our team actually learned more to work together. Because my team, I have a very diverse team, people from all different backgrounds and stuff. So I guess it's a before the run, everyone was working on their own things. We had separate leaders. But during this period, when we learned from your training is that it's very important to work together. And, when people in the team advance, it's good for everybody. And that helped my whole team understand that, be happy for others' success and support each other in a way that, because that's going to help support you in your business. So that's a very important thing that we all learned from Simon during this period. And also another important thing is to not let emotions get involved. Always deal with things rationally, handle things more in terms of solution based rather than dwelling on it. Because there's no point trying to dwell on something that you can't control rather than, just come up with solutions. That's so much more effective. And also another thing is that we also learned to, instead of try to focus all your energy and attention to one main goal, why not take small steps? Focus on one thing at a time. Focus on the 5 core production activities daily and take it one step at a time, because small things lead to big things, bigger things. And so that's a major thing that we all learned from Simon during this period as well.
Thank you for sharing. It's great that you brought up the motions, and it's really about being proactive instead of reactive. Right? Like you talk about the birthday party. I can imagine that. Oh my goodness, I would never want to be in your party, right? Oh, yeah, you're not doing this wrong. So you're acting emotional. You're basically reaction. And when you're reactive, everyone around you is like, oh, just get away from Amy. She said, right? So that's reaction, right? Leaders are proactive. Proactive meaning take a proactive approach and go out there and solve the solution. Solve it, right? You become like you said, solution oriented instead of like reacting. And when you react, you're basically not in control. You're letting emotions control. You're letting the situation control you, right? But leaders, we are proactive. We're solution oriented. We're in control. Like, company doesn't have ran out of products. It's okay, right? We will go figure out and go fix it. And someone actually wrote this quote that you can determine the size of a person by the size of the problems that bother them. Right? They used to mail. You can determine the size of a person by the. You can determine the size. Actually, you can determine the size of a person by the size of the problems that bother that person. Right? So when things happen, yeah, you understand, and you just become. You don't react, but you become proactive. So last message. Any other last words or advice? If you can share one important lesson for everyone that they could take home, what would it be?
One important thing. So during the last 4 weeks in particular, what I've really come to realize is that it's, focus on other people's goals. Like what you said before, Jim Rohn always talks about, if you help people get what they want, then you can get everything you want. So during the last 4 weeks, what really helped me in terms of, going for the run is actually to focus on helping all my leaders get to their goals. For example, Shabs, help him get to director, and helping each person reach their goals. So it's more about, actually finding ways to help them as opposed to thinking what's in it for me. Because that's something that had changed a lot for myself. Before I started in this business, I guess I was young, I was a little bit more self-centered, I didn't really know much. But now through this business, and when you have a team, it's so important to actually, care for each individual person in your team, and also find out exactly what they want so you can actually help them. So that's why, what we've got planned for our team, the Rainmakers, is actually to help everybody in the team advance so that we can actually bring everybody to next year's international convention as well. And you have earned money from USANA to be able to afford to go to America next year. And not just for the convention, but to also have fun. Because living life is about enjoying it. It's not just about working for something else so that, you can save up all the money and then later enjoying it. It's about enjoying it now. So that's why, focus on the small things as well. Help each individual person in your team and get to where they want to be, because ultimately that will help yourself as well.
Hey, thank you so much for sharing. It's really awesome. You know what? Remember, leadership is about touching someone's heart, right? There's the stories about Napoleon. Before every big battle, the night before, he would go around the whole camp and sit down, spend one-on-one time with his top generals, top leaders, and getting to know them, talk to them, have a drink with them. And when your team sees you care about them, they will fight hard for you. They'll work for you. And then when you care about, it's like if you help enough people get what they want in life, like Zig Ziglar says, you get everything you want in life. So thank you again for sharing, Amy, with your vision and also the creativity. It's very, very inspiring, and we look forward to your future success.
Thank you so much, Simon. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
So there you go. Congrats again, Amy. We're really proud of you. Thank you so much for sharing. A lot of lessons there. I hope you took a lot of notes. And by the way, this was an excerpt from our Insider Circle weekly training. If you're interested to learn more about these trainings, how we profile leaders, go check out my Insider Circle. It's Simon W. Chan /insider. Okay? This is Simon Chan again. Thank you for watching this training. And remember, we are in the profession to help others. So make sure you go out there and have a positive impact on someone's life today. God bless you all.